All right, guys, I'm getting ready to go do my laundry. I'm very low on clothes and I need to wash my uniform. So I was working last night until late and just some stuff coming to mind for me. One of my last customers was this really cute couple, older couple, but cute. They were very in tune to one another, you could tell. And I was waiting on them. And when I waitress, I'm pretty much all business. I am just, hey, my name's Melissa, I'm new. Um, I'll be waiting on you. Sometimes we joke around and people will jump in and say, well, then we'll give you a hard time. But I'm like, I'm new, can I start you off with something to drink? And then I'm usually pretty much, like I said, all business. I deliver the food. Um, I just do my job, ask if they want dessert, hand them the check. And there's a little bit of time to get to know people a little bit, but I stay focused because it doesn't take much to get off track when you're waitressing. And I don't know that people realize this unless they've waitressed before. It doesn't take much. Like I had one couple last night that the lady wanted Coke instead of her iced tea. And then I said, would you like dessert? And she said no. And then she's like, well, I changed my mind after I gave her the check and said, I would like dessert. And I said, oh, okay. So I gave her her dessert. And she's like, well, I want this to go. And so then I went and got it to go. And, so when there are customers who require a little bit more service, it's important to, kind of keep track of that. And you also have other tables at the same time that you're balancing out. So it really is a juggling act. So for me, I don't take a lot of time to socialize because, you get five, six, seven, I have about usually right now, I have a small section. But when I start getting more people, I'm going to probably be juggling eight tables or something. So, there's a lot to waitressing. It is hard work. You're running around all night. But I did stop and talk to this couple. They were my last couple at the end of the night. And they had been there for their anniversary, which I just found out at the end of the night. It was their anniversary. And they had been married, second marriage, 16 years. And every single year they go to this restaurant to celebrate their anniversary. It's their tradition every single year. And I'm like, that is so cool. And I was telling them about my divorce and I'm like, you think you know someone, right? And they just walk off on you. And this lady was telling me her husband did the same thing in her first marriage. He just totally walked out on her. No clue at all. So I think one important thing to do in your marriage is to invest in it heavily, really heavily. I mean, go out and do things. So my husband had missed one of our anniversaries before we lost our home. He was just kind of changing, getting prideful with the house, and he missed our anniversary. And I was really ticked off about it. I'm like, that's our anniversary. So we ended up, the next year too, I'm like, let's go for a bike ride. So we went, motorcycle riding is something we always did together. So we went up to Maine together in the rain. We still had a good time. And, you want to invest. Make sure that you are depositing a lot in your marriage. Our marriage we had 5 kids. So a lot of it was just the regular daily routines, like just, my husband was always home at night, which I appreciated. After work, there was dinner on the table. There was time to relax. There was time to either watch a movie together when the kids were young or to just hang out. Weekends were always, let's go somewhere. Let's go to like his parents at the pool. Let's go, let's always go somewhere. Always the ocean every single year. And I thought that was enough. And then when I worked, when we had the house, we still had a lot of time together. I thought we had a lot of time together. And he enjoyed the house a lot. So he liked his time to himself in the house because he had so many hobbies around there that he could do. So just, make those investments because they're really important. Have the regular birthdays, anniversaries, holidays. Memorial Day was usually cookout day. Have them, and then you have all that foundation to work on. So this couple, you know, I congratulated them, and they work really hard on their second marriage. They work even more harder. And most people who do go into a second marriage, they say that you have to work harder because it's just, not only do you have the baggage from before, but you have, you know, a lot to deal with in a new marriage. So yeah, so work at it. That's what I've got for now, guys. Thanks for joining me.